Joining me now on the sofa, Monika. Monika, thanks very much for being here. Most people watching this are going to understand what learning at school and in university is all about. How does learning in a business context differ?
I mean, firstly, maybe to say that learning needs to be very specific to people's job roles and relevant to their company or industry they come from. But also it's really important to understand that it's not an add-on, like an isolated activity that happens in the sustainability team. But really when we look into transitioning to circular economy or creating a circular business, it is a whole system change, a whole organization-wide endeavor. And thus the learning activities need to be also planned that way. But more specifically, what the differences are, professionals are under a lot of pressure to deliver results. And that means that when they go on a course or do an online training, they want to be able to see how they can implement these ideas or their learnings into something that's concrete at their workplace, in their world of marketing or supply chain or whatever their world is. And usually the top three questions that we would be asked is, what is the circular economy? What does it mean to the world? But what does it mean for my company? Why is my company interested in pursuing that? And what does it mean to me in my role, in my team business function? So there's a level of specificity that I suppose is asked for. And going back to the notion of learning has to be practical. In the work that we're doing with businesses, we see that we're reaching a certain saturation level, which is quite great. I mean, there's a good, a lot of the businesses we work with have a basic level of understanding around the circular economy, and now they're really keen to scale the practical aspects of, okay, how do we apply these circular economy principles into our business practices? How do we move towards that transition? So these are the sort of questions that are coming more towards us.
You've got answers for all of these questions?
Well, no, not necessarily. That's the thing. That in the end of the day, the foundation, what we're aiming to do is provide guidance and provide scalable resources, easy to use, and also modular to fit into the different contexts they use them for. But it is not about giving prescriptive directions like the 10-step guide to transform your supply chain in that industry. But we also collaborate, we work with different professionals to guide them in their solution finding process, so to speak.
But that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, the concept of the circular economy is simple at its basic level, but it's when you start getting into what does this mean for me and for my business or even my role within my business, really no one has the answers to all of these questions.
Yeah, and I think that it leads back to what Jules said earlier around the motivation and purpose, and seeing in terms of purpose, seeing where the organization is heading and why it makes sense strategically. And there are a number of businesses who clearly communicate that, and whether on CEO level or senior leadership level, it's positioned that way. This is something that we are doing as a company, and there are concrete targets. Some even go as far as to have it in the performance reviews as indicators. But yeah, so there's a sense of clarity how that fits with what the company is doing, but it's also the personal motivation to wanting to go to our learning hub or go to and onto these courses and actually then take that step to translating these ideas and concepts back into their specific context, which is the big step. And so you need a level of motivation and drive to do that.
And literally, what is it that we're doing with people? You say they're coming to us, they're asking us questions, but how do you support businesses? Or we've got programs that they can access?
Yeah, so we do, so both online as well as face-to-face, but with the scale of ambition that we're having, most of our learning activities are in the virtual realm. So we have, for example, regular webinars, monthly webinars. We have the online e-learning course that you can find on our website. There are also, and we have downloadable resources. So for example, on the Circular Economy 100 website, on the learning resource section, you'll find some, such as the Action Learning Set Toolkit, which we launched this year. But on top of that, we also have partnered in the past with universities who have their own professional learning offerings. So such as a MOOC, which has a couple of different courses on an introduction level, but also on packaging and the circular economy of packaging, and a 6-week masterclass, which is really very much appreciated by our business network, because it gives a certain level of depth and understanding, lots of business cases. Every week there's a webinar with speakers coming in that are practitioners coming directly from the world that relates to them with all their questions and challenges that they're facing. And
such as the way we work, it also offers lots of connections between different businesses, which of course we know from stories in our network.
Yeah,
that can be really
successful.
I mean,
some of the, yes. So, yeah, I mean, at that course they work with each other, but also we have, in terms of the face-to-face element, we run, for example, sessions at the acceleration workshops of the Circular Economy 100 network, where we, for example, ran in the past skill-building toolbox sessions, half a day long, where you get to, just build certain competencies that would help you to bring these ideas into your context and pursue that transitioning process. But at the same time, we also run kick-off workshops with global partners to see what their longer-term ambitions are, and learning is a key component of that. So we're really embedding that into the activities that they're running, the different channels they're using, and that relates to communication and the campaigns they have internally. It relates to more than just a course, for example.
Right, question has come in from Nicola. I'm going to put to you, how can we influence our organisation to adopt circular economy into its business models? I'm guessing there's some resistance there from the business, or Nicola's uncertain where to start. So what advice do you give to a business that wants, or someone within a business that wants to do something?
Yeah, well, it's always good to start with where the opportunities lie, and this is where professionals do like to see the proof points to how this is generating business benefits, so I would inquire into what is the company already doing, and some are a bit more outspoken about it and have something externally on their website, publicly readable, but some might not. So you might want to inquire into that, like what's already happening, and if you are interested and find out more about, for example, we have on the website, on the Ellen MacArthur Foundation's website, the Learning Hub, which has a number of mini online learning courses on different topics, such as fashion, or on an advanced level introduction to circular economy, but also how do I pitch it to my organization, or how do I start making introductions internally or running my own event to help people understand it. So there are a number of tips that would help you to see how you can make a move and can start engaging with your colleagues and start creating these visible benefits that they can see.
So imagine they've made that first move, they want to start. How do they go about running internal learning programs? What advice and support can we offer?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of things. The creating an awareness and understanding is an absolute no-brainer as a starting point to really be on the same ground, and I think there's still a lot of confusion around these concepts, and sometimes it's being used synonymously for sustainability, which is clearly not the case. So there's something around helping your colleagues understand what it is, having a strong narrative from the company itself, why they engage around circular economy, but also the motivational aspect that was mentioned earlier, to really inspire and engage the employees, so that it's not just something they're being mandated to do, but they're really bought in and are actually proud of being part of that movement, that they, so it's a company-wide movement. The other aspect is to create a community internally as well. So there are, with a couple of companies we partner with, there's those employees who have come back from these courses and are keen to engage and are keen to explore further opportunities within the business, to have the opportunity to do that, whether there's a Google Plus community, or whether there's a face-to-face, where they meet up regularly, to really help them connect with each other, but possibly also do that industry-wide, kick off something where you can collaborate with others. And that's really for knowledge, experience exchange, but also to support each other on the various challenges that they're facing.
Perfect. So I'm hearing you say you find the opportunity for your business, therefore you're setting the context, then you find people who can come with you on that journey, understand it, and then begin to apply it.
Yeah, and then, I mean, as mentioned in the video as well, then of course companies offer their own internal online courses. They have knowledge management systems where they can access content. But yeah, so there's most companies go for a virtual approach because they know this is how they can scale, especially in a company of 100,000 plus employees. But I think it's also important to be strategic about where you can embed content or aspects into existing face-to-face training activities, and and in all of that try to embed it to what's already there, rather than create that kind of standalone piece somewhere that people can't relate to.
Makes sense to me. Monika, thanks very much.